What if the one thing standing between you and the life that you want is just one brave decision, and all you need to do is trust yourself to do it? For 30 years, I chose relationships for the wrong reasons. And it wasn't that I didn't love my partners, but it was because I was raised in a time where people believed that a woman needed a man for money and stability, and that she couldn't have either one without him. So I spent a lot of time, invested a lot of energy, decades, in pursuing how to become an object of desire and abandoning myself in the process. Never really once slowing down to ask myself, am I chasing a dream that's my dream? Or is this a life path that was chosen for me before I was even old enough to choose my own? Did I even want a husband? Did I even want to be a wife? So 5 years ago, I moved into my car, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions of my life, but not really for the reasons that I thought at the time. Everything about living in my car has surprised me. And you might think that this is going to be a story about minimalism or saving money or buying raw land or going on an epic van life adventure. And it's not that. This is about what happens when you finally slow down long enough to stop running from yourself and to hear your own voice. And the thing that surprised me the most, I will share with you at the end, and it's really something I've never spoken about publicly before. So, living in my car allowed me to stop viewing relationships as survival strategies. I got really honest with myself about the fact that up until then, I had kind of viewed people as resources, and I had chosen things out of fear instead of always just out of love. And living in my car allowed me to break myself out of this pattern because I wasn't so stressed about providing for myself financially and worry about how to cover my mortgage. And instead, I could just slow down long enough to learn how to provide for myself and to take some of the stress off and to be able to do things that felt right for me. And it set me free from that pattern of chasing relationships that weren't aligned for me. Living in my car also allowed me to focus on what really mattered to me and to release what was really no longer serving the life that I was headed towards. So I let go of so many things that were no longer who I was part of becoming, and I only kept the things that had real meaning for me: snowboarding gear, backpacking gear, and the things that I needed for my day-to-day life. And once I had less stuff, I felt lighter. There was less noise, less chaos, less need to move things around all of the time. And I can feel it as I'm describing it right now. It's like space was created around me and within me, and weight was lifted, and I began to be able to feel my soul again and feel what I wanted to do with my life and how I wanted to be in service to others and how I wanted to show more love to others, because I exited this scarcity survival energy because I didn't have to focus on things that weren't really important to me anymore. And living in my car also allowed me to start a business. And I wouldn't have been able to do that because I had tried it several times with a 9 to 5. I just didn't have the energy to try to do both. And so once I removed the pressure of paying a mortgage and rent, and I could just build a business at a slow, steady pace, I was able to do that out of the back of my Subaru in the middle of the Utah desert. No Wi-Fi, spotty cell service, but I, spent some time doing that. And then eventually I was able to go backpacking for 5 weeks. And while I was out there, my automated sales started coming in, and I was able to start to believe, wow, this is possible. I can do this. I can provide for myself. I can trust that this will work. And I don't think I would have been able to build the business and try and fail and try again at a patient, experimental pace if I hadn't been living out of my vehicle. I also got really honest with myself about spending and money and where the money had been going. Once I wasn't writing a rent check every month, I had to just be honest and say, where did the money go if I didn't pay rent? And I was able to notice a pattern that I had been spending money not really on things, but on an identity. That I was hoping that if I could just get the right outfit or get the right course to change me, or sit in the perfect coffee shop or the most beautiful restaurant, that I can maybe feel better about myself and deserve to feel okay for just a little while. And once I saw that pattern in myself, I could see that there was shame in there for making those choices, and I could meet that shame with love. And then in doing that, I was able to break free from that pattern of overspending and to begin to really prioritize where I wanted to put my money so that I could build the life that I wanted to build for myself. Looking at the money wasn't fun. It was really uncomfortable, but it was really the beginning of even bigger things changing for myself. And that leads me to the thing I told you at the beginning that I was going to share that I haven't really spoken about publicly before. And that is that in living in my car, I got sober. Now, it was an opportunity to face the fact that for more than a decade, I had been a high functioning drinker, and I had been numbing my life and my feelings and the things I didn't want to face with alcohol. And once I was out there, just me alone in the middle of nowhere, it became a mirror, and I got to say, wow, I think I can have my best life or I can have booze, but I can't have both. I can't run from that reality anymore. And I'm not going to be able to have the life I want unless I'm willing to feel all the things I've been running from. So one night in the middle of the Utah desert, camped under a sunset sky full of beautiful, beautiful color, I poured my last bottle of tequila into the red dirt, the sandy red clay of the desert, and I watched that cool, clear liquid run downhill to the base of a yucca plant. And right then and there, I decided to stop numbing my life. And I didn't do it for anyone else. I did it for myself. And I did it in gratitude for the experience of just getting to be alive and exist in this world. Now, you don't have to obviously live in a car to change your life, but this might be an invitation to you to get honest with yourself about the things that you've been running from, and to trust that no matter whatever you find there, that you're going to be able to navigate it. You know, that's really what living in my car taught me. I became my own home. And if you're in a season of life where you know that something's got to change, but you don't know where to begin, then I invite you to start right there. Just build trust in yourself. And if you want a little help with that, drop into the pinned comment and look for one thing. It is a note that I send out every Sunday evening. In that note, I help you build self-trust and confidence so that you can take one step forward in your week towards the things that matter to you, the things that you want to follow through on, the goals that you have for yourself. So if you're ready to create that change in your life, then again, drop into the pinned comment and sign up for one thing. Other than that, I am just sending you so much love as always. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week.
Don't give up, just hold on tight.